Kipoerneke's Corner. I am back in Watcher of Realms. I've been doing various things today. There was a pretty good rain that came in and hail and all that stuff, so it's pretty unpleasant. But that's all right. I have arrived. Let's start with this hero's visit here. We've got Glenn. He says, Honorable Commander, I stand before you with a sacred mission. Your help is indispensable. These items are viewed as the Holy Light's gifts, aiding us in comprehending deity's intentions. Your help in locating them will bring us closer to the Holy Light's truth. And then he wants us to go and find gold, because certainly gold helps bring us closer to the Holy Light's truth. All right, they need some tithes from us. They need 5,000 gold. So let's go ahead and give them that. Why not? Let's put a little bit of coin in the coffer. All right, so that was 5 arena permits and 200 stamina for that. And then he says, I need your most dependable warriors for an imminent, challenging quest. We'll rely on the Holy Light for victory, but tangible strength is also crucial. So he's going on the Crusades. He needs your money and your men. All right, let's deploy these dependable warriors. We're going to send out, looks like I think that's Nazim, Lubu, and Thunkles are going to go out and fight in the Holy War, apparently. All right, dispatch them. They'll be back in 30 minutes. All right, so while they're out and about, what shall we do? Most of the events have ended. I know I've been AFK, or that I've been a little AWOL. For the weekend, and then yesterday and the day before as well. Went and saw the Mario Galaxy movie. Ooh, it's rough, guys. If you haven't seen it, it's worse than you may imagine. All right, let's get some background fights started here. Actually, I'm going to do the quick clear for these 10 previews from the day. May as well. And then we'll use one of these potions here and get 200 stamina, and then start these, and then we'll start some background fights when we finish. So, anyway, it was a little bit of hail earlier today, and I was actually out in my car when it started, and had to get into the shop in the middle of they weren't huge pieces of hail, but there were a good number of them, and they were maybe marble-sized hail, something like that. Okay, for those background fights, we got 220 Vault in the Sands trophies, 220 Brave Conquest points, 50,820 gold, 7,560 XP potions, and a myriad of pieces of gear here. Alright, now we start some auto fights. Let's max that out. That's apparently 20 times. That's kind of crazy. Start that. Hopefully I didn't do anything too silly there without thinking about it, but if I did, I did. No big deal. And it looks as though we have leveled up to level 67, giving us another 50 diamonds and 3 max stamina slots. I always like getting the stamina up a little bit more so we can be gaining points in the background. Alright. Thinking this through for a second. I think I'm going to go to quests. We have to perform one summon and claim the Tide Onslaught reward one time right now. Let's perform our summon and see what we get. We've got 19 rare summoning crystals at the moment. And that's Cutter, 2-star marksman from the Beership faction. Cutter launches poison-laced daggers with ease, but downs wounds with less grace than an ox. And then we come over here, we claim our 2 4-star second power shards for that summon. Claim the Tide Onslaught reward one time. Sure, let's go ahead and do that, I think. Almost up to the BP, or suggested, not required, but suggested for the next wave. So that's pretty cool, but not quite there yet. So let's claim this loot. And this time, I've finally learned about the skip button. If you click on the screen anywhere, then a little skip button shows up in the upper right over there, and that helps not have to wait on that. So we got 36 legendary skill dust, 376 talent points, 54 epic skill dust, 16,000 gold, 80 stamina, and 92 rare skill dust for that. Okay, getting out of there. Let's go and claim that first of all. We got the stamina potion sample there, and then we've got a lot of fights running in the background. Let's hit the arena. I can refresh, so let's refresh. And we can try Fran over here with 392,759 BP. Fran is from Brazil. Their flag always kind of makes me think of a soccer ball, and I think it's just because I associate Brazil with soccer, and it's the ball looking thing there in the middle doesn't really look like a soccer ball, but for some reason in my mind it's related. Don't know what that deal is. Okay, let's go ahead and auto fight this. The monster BP is 410,152. I didn't really pay attention to who they had. I see Sun Wukong. I think that's Twyla, Leia maybe, and I've seen that girl before too. And the beast they had in the left hand, I've seen him before. He might be maybe he's Torador, or I don't know. He's a Minotaur. So first they throw out Sun Wukong, who has splitting hairs. Deals 100% damage 18 times to one enemy and inflicts stun. Then they put out Dolores. That's who the fur cap girl is. Dolores. She's a healer. She has graceful dancing. Applies 40% inspiration to other allies in range for 22 seconds. And her range is, looks like it's the Dao Chan range before she gets the expansion on it. So it's a pretty decent range. And I was right. It's Torador, who has Hellfire Brain, making me think he's probably in the Nightmare Club. I don't know. Hey, Ruben, how you doing, man? How's the lip? Much better. Yeah, it's all healed up. I'd actually forgotten about it until you mentioned it. So Torador, Hellfire Burning. When activated, increases attack speed by 80, damage by 100%, and attacks multiple enemies in range, lasting for 25 seconds. And then they've put out, well, I don't know. I got defeated before I could tell you, but that was Fran with 392,759 BP. And stats show that Sun Wukong, wow, he's just so good. He did 7,382,190 damage in that fight. The next highest was Xena with 4,027,360. And then it drops all the way down to Idrim at 2,638,770. And I just want to point out that in this team I have here, I don't have Arrogance in it. Maybe that's a bad idea, but I was trying something different with this, and Arrogance is not in it. Notably, we lost to somebody with 60,000 less BP than we had, so there could be something related there. Arrogance is good to hear. You decided they're rerunning the Dracula event. I just saw that earlier when I logged in, and I believe Cody had sent me a message letting me know that's going to happen. You go and look at that message right now. And I think there's also a code, possibly. Let's see. I don't know if the codes will work. I think that... Okay, so I got one sent to me by him on the 13th, one on the 14th, and I'm not sure if... I don't think that I've streamed since the 13th. So I don't know if you guys saw this, and I don't know if it's still active, but it's Gretchen123WOR. I'm going to type that in here, and the other one is Duo Dragon 1CC Promo. Both of those promos, rather. So we've got Gretchen123WOR and Duo Dragon 1CC. Let's go try to put those in and see if they still work or not. But also, Cody said the Drac event is coming back soon, so you'll get the chance at getting them now, which is awesome because apparently there was no guarantee that they were going to come back last year, and it seems that they are. So that's very good. Excellent. Let's go over and see if we can click buttons properly. Redeem code here. And then I'll have to lean into this thing up on this shelf here. Gretchen123WR, let's WOR. That CD key has expired, so we missed that one. How about this other one? We've got Duo Dragon 1CC. Urban says, right, I didn't expect them to rerun it. So my understanding from you guys is that basically if you don't have those heroes, then the higher level arena is kind of off limits. It's just being dominated. Is that right? All right, let's see if this goes through. Redemption successful on that one. So let's go back and see what we got here in the mailbox. Dear Commander, the attached is your CD key reward. Have fun in the game. And we have something. What is it? We don't know. It's Transmutation Gem. A mysterious transmutation gem crystallized from illusions can change the secondary attributes of ancient mythic and variant mythic gear. Unlocks it gear level 16. Very nice. And you can get it from Malric's Halls of Illusion as well. Okay, well, let's claim that. I don't know if I have any of those or not. I don't pay a lot of attention to them. Irving says some, are really good. Count Dracula is amazing. Van Helsing is great. I have seen many people use Vlad Dracula and also Count Dracula in those. And also Lady Mina, and I think that she's part of that Halloween event as well, right? Let's check the Elf Pass. It's actually the Gold Dragon Pass. Weekly quests. We have cleared any stage 50 times, and that gives us 1,125 Gold Dragon tokens. Levels us up to 6. So let's claim these rewards here. We've got 80 stamina. Not bad, not bad. Brave Conquest. That's for looting gear pieces and meteorites. And we have 50,000 gold per net. Now, as mentioned, there's not a lot going on right now. The Immortal Codex has a couple more hours left on it. So if you haven't done the, I think it's like Maelstrom of Fury or whatever like that, the third guy, the one with all the tridents, then definitely get that done. I didn't do particularly well in there. I got a B+, but hey, you know what? I'm going to accept that and move forward. Now on the event calendar, there's not really anything starting up. Just the Brave Conquest and the event sign-in. But on Friday, there's going to be some things. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. There's also the Bounty Challenge, and that's going to start tomorrow as well. I know nothing about the Bounty Challenge, but it says harmful monsters are wreaking havoc in Tia. Commanders, it's time for you to exterminate them. Complete the bounty quests, and you shall be rewarded generously by the people of Tia. Again, I don't really know what that entails, if it's just something where we do a bunch of different quests and we get rewards or not. Rubian says, I'm on the fence about Mina. Well, I don't know. I've seen her being played in Arena, and okay. So she was doing very well, but then apparently she had had some kind of a glitch. She was not working as intended, and then they took away that extra boost that she had that everyone was using her for, and I haven't really seen people using her since then. So I don't really know if that is because she's not worth using anymore, or if it's because people were so disappointed because she isn't as amazing as she once was. But I did see her often. Now I don't see her. I don't know if I've seen her at all actually since then. Maybe, but I don't remember it. So on Friday we've got a bunch of stuff. We've got the Crazy Invocation of Spirits. That means drop rate of legendary heroes increases to 2 times during an event. In other words, if your chances of hitting a legendary slot go up by 2. That's what that's talking about there. Crazy Divine Summoning is the same thing as the Crazy Invocation. It's just a matter of whether you're using their summoning pistols or legendary summoning pistols. Rubian says, hey, B+ is very respectable getting your heroes. I think you did very well. Well, thank you very much. I don't know that B+ is amazing, but I'll take the compliment nonetheless. We got the special divine summoning here, which, okay. I think that's Hatsut right there. She looks familiar in the little thumbnail. Then there's somebody else that I've seen before, but I don't know who is. Let's click on them and see who this is. Magda. I have seen someone use this one in Arena before, but it's been a while. It says, deep within Magda's heart resonates an unyielding thunder of vengeance, driving her to greater power, even in the midst of her allies' downfall. When an ally dies in rage, crit damage increases by 70% for 12 seconds. That's interesting. But, I mean, her range is 2 slots ahead of her. She's got the aim range going on. Interesting. Magic fighter. All right. I don't know how I feel about it. I do know that Hatsut is quite good in arena. She's very, very good. Especially when you put her out very early. So that's what I learned about her from watching other people use her. We've got Maul in here, and then I think that's Nazim, and then this is definitely Miss Sandy. I have all 3 of those guys. Believe it or not, I finally have all 3 epics before going in the last few times. It's a nice thing. But I don't know. Maybe I'll do something with them with those pulls. Perhaps we'll see. So we have that going on. That was Special Divine. There's also Special Invocation. We've got Corridor of Glory starting on Friday. That's for leveling up, starring up, promoting heroes, or upgrading heroes' skills. And you get rewards for that. Tales of the Smith is for enhancing gear. Duel of Champions is for fighting arena fights. And then we've got Zombie Invasion, which I think that's cool. I kind of liked the Omen Quelling. That was pretty neat. I felt like that was good because it was much, much faster for one thing. And so if you didn't have a lot of time, then it was easier to knock out an Omen Quelling than it is a Zombie Invasion. Howsoever, part of the reason it was easier is because you could knock it up to 3.5 times speed. And I haven't ever tried to do that with Zombie Invasion. I don't know if you can or not, or if you couldn't before, will you be able to now? Is that a feature that they will implement? If they didn't implement it before, I don't know. We'll find out hopefully on Friday. Arabian says she's great hero too. You'd love her in artifact raids. Matrix, cultist attraction trials, Magda that is. Hatsut's great in all sorts of stuff. Yeah, Hatsut seems to be very good at dealing damage. That's what I've seen. Magda, like I said, I've only seen her, I don't know, once or twice. Enough that I recognize her, so maybe more than that. So a low percentage of the time, though. I can say that much. Less than, way less than 10% of the time. I mean, like, way less. So, I can't say much about her. So I just don't know enough. Okay, so got all that stuff going on. Let's see. I think I've finished all the daily quests. I did. Excellent. I've got some background fights running at the moment. Let's check on the arena. Still have 2 minutes, 35 seconds left on that, and nobody who strikes me as somebody I want to fight. Let's come over. See, I'm mixed on this because I have a few minutes, not a long time, but I have a few minutes, and I'm thinking, okay, I could do some more of the storyline. I could probably bring myself to manage that, or I could go look at some storylines of people, which is also cool. Like some backstory stuff. Maybe I do a little bit of each. Let's find out. Ruben says that Magda is also good in Gear Raid 1. Gear Raid 1. Which one is Gear Raid 1? We don't know. Let's go look. Alright, Gear Raid 1. Let's look and see what this looks like. Okay, alright. This is the one with the barriers. And they have, I think this is the one that has the healing guys there. And that you guys were telling me I needed to get some anti-healing for, which now I have. Interestingly, I do have Thunkles, and I'm trying to think. I don't think I have anybody. Maybe I have somebody else, but I definitely have Thunkles, no doubt about. So that's something that I'm going to take into consideration next time I try doing Gear Raid 1, like in the next stages. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll see if we can knock out a couple of storyline quests real quick. Okay, clear campaign stage E4-13 says. So 4-9 is where we're at. We're slowly getting there. Let's see. Looking it over real fast. E4-9. It says, Scalekin mages, proficient in the forbidden arts of cursed magic, possess the ability to unleash AoE magic damage. Then we've got scaled Komodos, covered with thick skins. These giant reptiles have high defense. Scalekin mages control the forces of nature through ancient and unique spells, setting them apart from all other races. Skeleton fighters turn from soldiers killed in battle. These are the most common undead monsters. Elite skeleton archer. Elite skeleton archers that can deal massive damage from far. and Scale King warriors. Battle season Scale King stronger than the average ones. All right, so we've got 3 oncoming portals and 2 portals to protect. Looks like plenty of platforms. Don't know how many melee tiles. I do wish it was marked on the screen where your melee tiles would be, because that would be super cool. Oh, Peruvians is almost forgotten. Beverage of choice tonight? Yeah, sure. This is I think it's a hazelnut coffee today. Got here. Hazelnut isn't really my favorite, but it is the cheaper creamer, so I went ahead and went with that. Okay, let us fight, and we want to do this no more than 6 heroes in our team due to being able to get, I think, the 3-star thing on there. This team should be fine. I'm not too worried about it. Fancy, he says. Yeah, definitely. Hazelnut. Fancy. The thing is with hazelnut, like, you could get pecan, right? Pecan. I mean, I live in Texas, and here we have all kinds of nuts. But one of the very common ones is the pecan. And when you have pecan as an option of nut, then, I mean, why would you take anything but pecan? That's kind of my thought on that. Oh, now that I've learned about this little ultimate button, let's go ahead and use that. I don't know that it's appropriate most of the time, or some of the time anyway. If you're something like this where it doesn't really matter so much, that's one thing. But I feel like timing your ultimates is typically a good play, So I'm not sure how I feel about it overall. Also not sure where I want to put Soulface. I think I will just, I don't know. I'll put him here. I don't think it really matters. But anyway, I think that if things are getting, down to the wire, as it were, then you would want to not have your ultimates turned on to go off automatically, because obviously there's no timing to that, and sometimes you want to save your ultimates for when they're most appropriate. So while I am using that button, I'm also thinking in the back of my mind, I hope I don't become dependent on using that and then forget how they actually work, because that'd be a real shame right there. But I am turning them off for, like, Dao Chan. I have hers off, obviously. In fact, I should turn her DPS mode on, because there's just no reason not to. So hers is off, and then, like, Laurel's, I would probably normally want Laurel's. Well, yeah, I mean, normally would want hers off. There are some other ones like that you want to wait. Like, if they regenerate rage, then obviously you want to wait until everybody is ready for their rage to be regenerated, because you want her, you want that to go fast. If they're going to increase the healing done at a certain, then you'd want to wait until you need the healing to be increased before you play that. So I do appreciate that there's this little autocast settings button here where you can select those, and I'm glad for whoever told me about that. Ruben says, I think you got the right idea. Most things like these, you don't really need the timing, but other fights like Titanic Ruins, yeah, agreed. Yeah, agreed about Arena too. And in fact, like, I've been doing the auto fights in Arena, but in all honesty, you can always do a lot better if you don't do it like that, and if you just fight it out. I've been doing it like that because I mostly don't care, and also because it goes a lot faster whenever you do the auto fight thing. If I ever decide that I really want to make it up in rankings, though, then I'm probably just going to do fights without being auto fight. Auto fight just is, it's always going to be worse than timing yourself. Anything you're automating, it's not going to be as good. It's the same also in zombie invasion and things like that. So if if you want to do the best that you can do, I think that turning off the automatic features is going to be the move. All right, let's see what we've got here. We've got 30 of these diamonds, 282 XP potions, and 630 coins here. Stats show that Setrum topped the DPS by a great deal. Of course he did, because he's got the most range out of everybody. Followed by Arrogance, who again was very close behind him as far as range goes. So it makes sense that those numbers would look like that. Well, we did defeat what is it, like 4-10. That's where it's, 9. E4. I'm really good at this test. All right, E4-9, we got knocked out. Do we do E4-10? Sure, let's go ahead and do it. All right, E4-10. We've got, it looks like pretty much the same cast. We got some Mutants Rocks in there, Goldhounds and some Dooms Rocks. And that's the difference between what we had and what we have now. Looks like we've got at least one portal will be oncoming, and we've got 2 portals to defend here. So, the recommended BP here is only 279,347. Our BP currently is 505,178. That's even with only 6 people in the group. So, it's we're vastly over BP'd for these fights. So let's go ahead and start. All right. So, how's about we just stick Arrogance here in the way of everything up there? And then what? Setrum? Probably, right? Makes sense to do him next to Phil. And we can just stick him here so that he has a nice clear shot at most of the things that are going to be running around. We will turn on the ultimates and become dependent on the auto cast, as one does. All right, I think next maybe I'll stick out Sulkadins right here. Feels good. And then we can put down Chan over here so that she can hit everyone. And let's go ahead and turn her into DPS mode for the moment. I need to switch her back anymore, but for now, she's going to continue healing for a few seconds. Irvian says, since you were talking about pecans, pecan pie sounds really good. Yeah, actually, my daughter's going to make me a cheesecake for my birthday next week, and it's a good thought. I could have her do like a pecan cheesecake. I'm more of like an original cheesecake eater. I don't really like a lot of things on the cheesecake, but I don't know. It sounds reasonable. I like pecans. I like cheesecake. Could always just have some cheesecake with a side of pecans too. So, and besides, pecan pie is great. I agree. Peruvian says happy early birthday, turning 25. Oh, some years ago I did, yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for the happy birthday, by the way. I'm not a big birthday person actually. I don't really celebrate it so much. We do like a cake or whatever, and that's what we do for birthdays in my family. Otherwise, it's just another day. I kind of feel that way about any any of that type of holiday. Like, I feel like, if you care about somebody, then that's something that you do every day, right? And if I don't know, in some ways, I feel like if people are saving up their appreciation of somebody for an event, then they're missing some opportunities, if I want to get someone a present because I see something that they want and I'm thinking of them, then I don't understand, I guess, why we should wait for an event to give it to them, right? Like, I feel like, hey, I was thinking of you and I got you this thing is perfectly sufficient. And it also prevents you from being in a situation where you feel obligated to get someone something. You don't know what to get them in that moment. And then so you end up getting them something that they may or may not really want. And it's just sort of more of an obligation than it is anything else. And I don't feel like that's I don't know. It's no good for anybody. I guess I know that a lot of people are really into birthdays and they really appreciate things like that. And it's not that I don't appreciate that. It's just that I don't think that it's necessary at all. Okay, we got 30 diamonds, 282 XP potions, and 630 gold coins here. And looking at stats, we got the same kind of situation to a large degree, which is that Setram tops the damage share. And that's because, again, he has the widest range. He gets to kill the things before they get in closer. And he is followed in this case by Setram because I had Setram out where he could hit people more. So it's just kind of the way that goes. Rubian says, poor Edrin. Yeah, sure. I mean, Edrin was so far back, he didn't have a chance. All right. We've earned 2 of these lovely 4-star psychic power tokens. And then on to E4-11 here. It says, clear the stage. Clear the stage with soul core intact. Clear the stage with no more than 1 defender in the team. Well, that seems pretty simple for me. So, what else do we have to know about this map? We've got the Scarlet Mages, Skeleton Soldiers, Skeleton Fighters, Zombies. There weren't zombies in the last one, I don't think. Elite Skeleton Archers, Skeleton Modal, and Scourge. And those are the ones that spread the plague. Alright, so we don't actually need to limit ourselves to only 6 according to this one. That's different. It's jungle number 11. Let's go ahead into here. Okay. Still not too worried about it. We got 2 oncoming portals, 1 portal to defend. When a hero hits too many targets, their area damage decreases. Hero hits too many targets, their area damage decreases. So I wonder what that means in the reasonable sense of the word. I'm going to stick Setram out first and have them get started on these guys. And then let's see, what do I want to do? Maybe I want to put Dao Chan back there. Back here. Makes sense to me. We've got some guys headed in our portal's direction. It's very unlikely that they're going to get past Setram. Maybe I wait on putting him out actually because we can just start getting out some DPS in different places here. Probably could have put all of this a little more toward the west and not really worried about, that too much and get these guys burned down a little faster. But that's okay. We'll do it this way. I suppose I could do something like this and see how it goes. For instance, can we just destroy them with him? It's looking possible. I think I want to put Wrath out right in front of Adrian so that we stop any kind of possibility of them just walking by. Um, Rubian says evil care, haha, that arrogance position. Yeah, I mean it seems fair. Like I said, I could have moved the whole thing up and just slaughtered them as they come out. I don't know. I guess I can turn this on to by two. There we go. Make this speed up a little bit. So, arrogance is still performing well. I think he was a very good pull to get. I haven't really had an opportunity to try out Beatrix yet. I'm looking forward to doing that. Arabian says poor mobs spawn when they die. Well, backward, die when they spawn. I can't read or think sometimes. We got 30 diamonds, 282 XP potions, and 630 coins there. We gave Arrogance a shot at hitting some folks this time, as well as Adrian. We got to boost their ego every now and then. But still, Setram demolished everyone's damage. We got almost 2 million, 1,700,000 for Adrian, and 1 million for Arrogance. Almost a million for Sultans, too, I'm going to point out. Use hero skills flexibly in battle to deal with various situations. Yes, I agree. Alright, now we're on E4-12. I suppose I can do that. Clear the stage with soul core intact. Clear the stage with no more than 6 heroes in your team. Easy enough. And it's a boss fight. Let's see what we have. So, Mutants Rock, Skeleton Fighter, Stitched Carrions, Scaled Komodos oozes, those combine into larger oozes with that merge skill. You got Scaled Shaman and then the Slime Devourer, which is they can devour each other to evolve, and they can get the power of the Tyrant Slime. All right, cool. With 3 portals to defend, there are seven oncoming portals. Interesting. All right. Right. And we'll just keep the same team as before. Jungle 12. All right, let's see. Which way do I want to go with him? I think I'll just go here and then face up. And then I will have Solkadens take the other side of here, which isn't quite as good. I could put him up again to finish that stuff off. That's okay, we'll just do this. It'll be no problem. I suppose I could, I don't know, what do I want to do? I could put Wrath on one side and even on the other, and probably be perfectly fine facing toward those portals. But yeah, I mean, really, why not, right? Probably would be fine to do so. Oh, I forgot to turn the ultimates on. There we go. I was like, man, those things are just sitting there. How weird. Slime Devourer. The Slime Devourer's buddy. I don't know. Basically, they combine. They get bigger. All right. We got 30 diamonds, 282 XP potions, and 630 coins. Peruvian says poor Dow. Yeah, I didn't even bother placing her. I just like, not even necessary. Okay, now we're on E4-13, which is the one that we need to move the storyline forward. So, it's another boss fight, which apparently we're calling the Slime Devourer boss these days. We got Carrion Hounds, Ghoul Hounds, Stitched Carrions, Scarlet Mages, Scalekin Mages, Mutants Rock, Plated Komodos, Butchers, Scalekin Shaman, and Scaled Komodos in this fight. We have 3 portals to defend and 4 oncoming portals. Alright, let's go to fight. And again, we're just going to keep the same crew as before. Peruvian says nearly the same fight, but turned 90 degrees. Essentially, right? Except we can put our people all over the place. They only have a couple of places, so I wonder if I can just start here. And I'll put these guys here to block. And that's one thing that's a little bit different is we don't have the sides. And I'll turn the ultimates on this time. Another difference. Our channel just sit on the bench until she's needed, you know? All right, only 2 more guys to go, and then we'll finish this step of the storyline quest line. Did you see how they merged? 2 became 1. Here he is, the scary boss. All right, we got a victory on that one. We got all 3 stars, and we got 10 diamonds, 2 rare summoning crystals, 282 XP potions, and 630 gold coins for that. Solkadin's top to the DPS this time, or at least he topped to the damage this time. Followed by Citrum, then Arrogance. So it went 4,400,000 down to 2,500,000, then 1,800,000. So, not too shabby. They split it up between them, not evenly, but somewhat. Critting mid-battle won't consume stamina or currency, which is actually a really cool thing that that took me a little while to learn. That you don't consume it if you don't finish it. I think one of you guys told me that at the time. Very, very helpful information. And what did we miss here? Okay, 3 summoning crystals we need to grab. 3 rare summoning crystals. Alright. Now, hop over here. We can go over to the storyline where Clear Campaign Stage E4-13 was finished. We can claim this. 1 mythic extract later. Claim rewards to unlock the next chapter. Absolutely. Claim whatever this flux pendant is. Oh, it's a mythic artifact. Okay, alright. It is class limited to fighters. increases critical damage by 12%. When HP drops below 50%, the increase is doubled. Well, that's nice. That would go very well on a Chaos guy like Boo, if only you don't have his artifact. I don't know if I have this or not, but one way or another, it would be helpful. Now we're being forced to click the X button, but first let's read what this says, because it can't stop us from reading. Manually challenge stage 13 in Gear Raid 3 using a marksman with at least 7,500 attack. Okay. So we click the X button. Odyssey, feature unlocked. Embark on a new journey. Something. Yeah, alright, that is a new journey indeed. Odyssey, man on horse. Got it. Clear gold grade on any difficulty level 10 times. Okay. 10 more steps away from claiming milestone rewards. Alright. So we click on this. It says gold is crucial for gear enhancement. Before engaging in auto fights in the gold grade, activate gold bonus to make it more effective. Yeah, that's true, because you don't get very much, really. In addition to gold raid, participating in various events is also an effective way to acquire gold. I find that that's almost as good, although don't listen to me because I'm almost always out of gold. Alright, clearing this 10 times is what we've been asked to do. Let's first go back and claim these here background fight rewards. 92,400 gold, 15,000 XP potions, a myriad of armor or gear pieces, 460 Vault in the Sands trophies, 460 Great Conquest points, and 10 Demon Soldier shards of the Scalefin Shaman variety. Let's come over here to our hero's visit. We got the dispatch completed. And so we earned 3 4-star psychic power shards for our trouble there. He says, "Thank you, revered commander. Guided by the holy light, we've secured victory and protected the beacon of our faith. May the holy light eternally guide our path." Yeah. We'll be sure to keep that in mind there, Glenn. Alright, let's see, we have a little bit of stamina. But let's go to the shop over here and claim our freebies for the day, if we haven't already. Maybe we have. I see that we have a reward somewhere, though. Ultimate Campaign Fund. We got 150 diamonds for whatever the Ultimate Campaign Fund is. Excellent. We like getting 150 diamonds. Alright, out of there. Peruvian says, "Congrats on unlocking Odyssey." Well, thank you. I have no idea yet what that means, except that I'm supposed to go fight some gold grades. What is all this? Let's have a quick look here. How far does it go? It looks like all the way to level 82, or... Whoa. A dude. It's like an Egyptian god. We have an Egyptian god. Interesting. Innate. Upon ascending to divinity, innate. Innate or innate? Innate? I don't know. Innate. Wielding the pride of a true god, will not engage in combat personally. Instead, he bestows the ancient core upon his mortal allies to strike at his enemies. Ah. That's interesting. It says, when deployed, immediately assigns an ancient core to up to 4 allied heroes within the spell range to assist each of them. So what is an ancient core? Autonomously attacks an enemy in range, equal to the basic attack range of the assigned ally, dealing damage equal to 25% of its attack per second. Interesting. After that, assigns an ancient core to 2 allied heroes every 8 seconds. Each ancient core lasts for 20 seconds. Well, alright, so that's a guy that we could ultimately get out of this deal, it looks like. Yeah, maybe. So it looks like there's just obviously, I should have hit this quite a long while ago. I guess it should be pretty simple to move up in it pretty quickly. Alright, cool. Let's go back to this very first one, which was clearing gold grades on any difficulty level 10 times. And then auto fight this, and we'll just do the 10 times that it asks for. Do I have any gold things running? I wonder. Let's see. I really don't. What's this? I don't know. Oh, that's for summoning stone. I thought it was another little button to click. Oh man. Gold bonus. Alright. Let's see here. One way we can get a gold bonus is, I think, this one. Yes, right here. Jungle Stew. Let's get ourselves a gold bonus before this. Alright, got that. Now, Odyssey. Found it. Little golden button. Alright, now, for real this time. 10 fights of the gold grades. Let's use one of these. And then start those in the background. Alright. We got events over here with Brave Conquest update. We got one huge stamina potion. And then the Gold Dragon's Pass, well, the Elf Pass has something for us in the weekly quests. Clear gear raid 100 times, and we get 200 Elf tokens, leveled up to 30. And that gives us 20 Gleaming Meteorites and 1 Dark Fall Gem. What's a Dark Fall Gem, you ask? Who knows? A gem crystallized from the mysterious essence of the night can be used to enhance the primary attribute of mythic or higher rarity gear. Interesting. It's another Malrix Falls of Illusion thing. Those things we need to get around to. Alright. Also, Baru has some things for us. Do a smart purchase? Nah. It doesn't want to give us anything fun today. How's about the arena though? There's probably things to do here. There most certainly are. We have 4 arena permits at the moment. And here is Miss Queen. Miss Queen from the Ukraine has 50,439 BP, and she has Dolores as her fighter. So she's clearly just trying to throw the fight. Because Dolores is a healer. She doesn't do any damage. So, yeah. Peruvian says I need one like that to show up in my arena, right? Yeah. Not bad. I'll take it. So, they've put out Dolores, and here's her ultimate. She has graceful dancing. Applies 40% inspiration to allies within range, basically is what it says. Alright, so there's the victory on Miss Queen. 50,439 BP for her. And just to give you a quick look at the stats, the only person who did any damage there was Yuna, 879,031 damage. We got 3 arena coins and 8,000 hero XP potions for that. Alright, what else? Anything else? Not really. We can do Jimmy Jones. Let's give Jimmy Jones a go. Jimmy Jones is from Belarus and has 400,488 BP. Look at that. Arrogance, Sun Wukong, Meza, Aelin, and someone I have no idea who is. Cool. Let's fight them. They're going to win. Probably. We're going to auto-fight here. Meza is very good damage. Sun Wukong is also very good damage. Aelin she's a fine healer. I'm hoping that we live long enough for them to put out that other person so we can find out who that is. Here's Sun Wukong, the splitting hairs. Deals 100% damage 18 times to one enemy and inflicts stun. He also summons all of these clones that you've seen here. Now they've stuck out Aelin. Aelin has Aria of Moon. When triggered, increases the hero's healing modifier by 100% and speeds up heals by 100% for 20 seconds. Now they've stuck out Meza, who has Red Lotus Revenge. When activated, increases attack by 60% and expands attack range to create Windfire Whirl, lasting 30 seconds. When the ultimate ends, deals up to 300% AoE damage to up to 10 enemy targets in range based on the number of weapon switches performed during the ultimate. Arubian says, before Dao Chan, Dolores was the go-to inspiration unit. Understandable. I don't know really what she does other than, you know, she gives inspiration to everybody in her range, right? But I don't really know what else she does. I haven't used her. I think I have her, but I've never. By the time I got her, I didn't use her. Okay, so stats on that. We were beaten mercilessly by Jimmy Jones, with 400,488 BP. He had Nizal with 5,797,680 damage, and then Sun Wukong with 5 brain, 25,790 damage. And then after that, the damage dealt drops down to Xena with 3,864,220. So, I mean, that's okay. So, yeah, those two there, the Sun Wukong and Neza, did like twice the damage, more than twice the damage of my entire team over here during that. It's crazy. All right, so we're gonna tap to close. We got 3 arena coins for that. Urugan says basically makes them hit harder, like Dao Chan does. Yeah, okay, that's what I assumed. Okay, so that fixes that whole situation over there. We got these background fights complete here. 439,700 gold coins, 9,400 XP potions, and then a bunch of dudes from those fights. Let's click on Odyssey, where we can claim this progress here for 100,000 gold. Somehow we can click it. There we go. Did it. Don't click on the actual button. That didn't work. Better click somewhere on the tag, apparently. Alright, clear stage 12 in gear raid 2, and clear stage 12 in gear raid 3 to be claimed. Well, let's claim it. 5 gear recasting hammer shards from that, and 5 more gear recasting hammer shards for that. Own 1 enhanced mythic artifact. Well, we definitely do that, so we can claim this 200 mithril. Claim friendship points 40 times. Well, that's a shame that we've already done that today. But that's okay. We'll come over here and I'll click the button. Yeah, already got my my friendship points for the day. What a shame. Gold Dragon Pass has something for us over in the weekly quests. Eliminate 2,000 monsters and we get 1,125 gold dragon tokens. Leveled up to level 7 there. Love rewards. We got 5 auto fight attempts. Very nice. Alright. Cool. I don't know why the Odyssey thing is still blinking. There's nothing I can do, game. There's nothing you can do. Already claimed my maximum friendship points for the day. Shame. 7 more points away from claiming milestone rewards, it says. Oh, very interesting. Golden Pharaoh. I don't know who that's a skin for. Oh, hold on. Oh, is this Dolores? It is Dolores. Alright, so this is... Oh, this is the thing that I thought was a fur hat all this time. It turns out that's definitely not a fur hat. That is a... That's for... It's a helmet, basically, right? I mean, it's... So it's a headdress, but it's like a golden headdress. And I'm feeling like a golden headdress is essentially a helmet. Rubian says, making good progress on all sorts of stuff today. Yeah, there's no real events running, so, you know, I gotta do other things today. And the other thing that I wanted to do was read a few of the background stories. I don't want to get too deep into it because it's 1:10 a.m., but I will read a little bit. First, we've got these shards over here to claim. Gear recasting hammer shards. We're going to make a gear recasting hammer with that. Alright, let's see here. Just kind of look this over real fast and also start some background fights on these Gear Raid 2 or Patrol events. All right, got that started. Get out of here. And then let's go look at the gallery real fast. I think maybe not. Hold on. I may not have done the dragon thing today. I didn't. Haven't done the dragon thing. Or the donations, possibly. All right, we got some rare skill dusts. Sure, why not? Donate that. Not donating any diamonds. Aperion insignia? No, I'm good. I'm still stacking that stuff up. Let us go then to, well, let's look at the guild quest real quick. Okay, artifact material raid 3 times. We better go do that. Let's end this. Okay, and then go do the artifact material raid thing 3 times, it says. All right, got that going over there. And so now I think we can safely go into the gallery. So I think that's where we have to go to see these stories at this point. Now there are some just plain guys that I want to look at. But who are they? I have to recognize them from their pictures. That's a whole problem. Who am I curious about? Some of them seem kind of straightforward. Others, not so much. Don't think any of those are the ones that I would want to look at. We've already looked at Autumn and her sister, whose name I cannot currently think of. Spring, of course. I'm trying to remember who is it who's the one looking for his lost love? It's one of these guys, but I don't know which one. Who are you? That's Josh. We don't know anything about Josh. He's no fun. Gotta look down here again, make sure I didn't run by him. I don't know if he's 2-star. What's this guy here? That's Langland. Let's check him out real quick. Langland is as devout as can be. His healing magic dispels negative effects, keeping allies in the fight. But what's his story? Alright, keeping the faith. A soloist friar maintained by the benefices of the church and alms of the grateful. Traveling from village to village in the Mosun Empire, Langland is a devoted servant of Lord Solaris above all else, belonging to a sect of friars who believes the best way of worshipping the Lord is to experience the creations gifted by the sun. With this mission, he addresses the spiritual concerns of remote communities, praying for them, using his skills as a healer, to cure the sick and provide respite for the dying. Passionate artist, he travels the land and paints the landscapes of the blessed world, on occasion doing portraits for alms. Yet do not think Langland is a harmless do-gooder. With a life on the road, Langland is well experienced in overcoming dangers, and with his natural charm and training has escaped many a tricky situation, from attacks by Church of Redipuj fanatics and heathen marauding goblins to strange spells from the ancient powers of the world. Through it all, Langland has kept his faith as a servant of the Lord, determined to bring his healing light wherever his feet may tread. Arabian says, could use some quick clears. Yeah, I could. No sense in it. He says he looks like my neighbor, minus the robe and staff. Alright, so now you know what you have to get the man for Halloween, right? A little gift, If you know anybody who does some tailoring, you might could get him a full new look going on. I think it's doable. I think he could handle it. I think, you'd have to have a leather robe. Right? I think so. We got some leather. We could use leather, though. Leather would be sufficient for looks. Alright, so we got him all checked out. I do want to see if I can find the guy who is roaming around looking for his lost love. So I read about him all the time, and I'm always thinking, like, man, she is not interested in you. Take a hint. Yeah. We've got Liam there. We could check him out just for funsies, but he's not the droid I'm looking for. All right, so I found him. His name is Preeter, and it says AGS for the current hero. AGS for the current hero? What does it mean? What does that mean? AGS? Don't know. Entertaining. Let's go to my story. What became of her? A member of the Imperial Guard of Yalnor, Peter's role back home in the Old Empire was to cater to the whims of an emperor maddened by the loss of his grounds and power. Whenever he could, he would take a boat down the Golden Rivers from Summertime Palace toward an idyllic hamlet, not far from the borders of the Empire, where he had grown up with his childhood sweetheart, playing games in the surrounding emerald green woodland as children and boarding with trips into town as teenagers. One autumnal evening, as the leaves were beginning to turn amber and the sun cast streaks of fire in the dusk sky, a messenger rode into the hamlet and called upon all men in service of the emperor to return to Summertime Palace to embark on a campaign of conquest. Crater assented, but before he set out for war, he married his love under the boughs of the yew tree. Returning to the hamlet from the Dooms campaign, one of the few on the front line to survive, Crater found his hometown had been destroyed during the conflict, with corpses strewn on the ash and barley fields, but no signs why. Praying she had escaped to safety and refusing to accept the likelihood that she had died, Crater left his home once again to search for her. Well, what a story. This is why he ends up coming around the bars where old Rum Nose is hanging out. All right, we're going to do one more story, and then we go back and clean up for the night here. So, green and tipsy. For the Rum Nose, nothing drives him crazier than the aroma of fine alcohol. Drinking has become an integral part of his life. In order to satiate his appetite, the Rum Nose once smuggled a sack full of spirits onto the battlefield and got drunk on guard duty. For this, he was hung on the rack for a whole day by his own officers as punishment for his negligence. But the Rum Nose had no remorse. Don't let me drink, you might as well kill me. All right, Rum Nose. There you go. Okay, we got these background fights done. We got 27,060 gold, 2,250 XP potions, 10 flawless meteorites, 42 mithril, and 60 raid conquest points. We have a little bit left over. Let's go ahead and throw them at the Vault in the Sands over here. All right, and on the guild, I forgot. I've also got to do the dragon attacks, right? So let's claim these. We got 20 guild coin, 20 guild activity tokens, and 1 small stamina potion. It looks like we need to go do this real fast. This won't be long because I'm just going to auto attack. We're going to auto fight Nightmare 3 first. Rubian says, don't forget your guild boss. Absolutely. That is the goal here. So open up this overall statistics window here. Yeah, it's I was mentioning earlier that it was hailing over here. And it occurs to me that I don't know if hail is a common phenomenon everywhere that you guys are. I know that I have a friend in California near the Sacramento area who has never really seen snow, and she doesn't really experience hail. so much. Irving says you read my mind. Oh no, maybe I did. But anyway, she said she doesn't really get snow, and she said the only time she's seen snow is when she goes to the mountains up there. So yeah, I don't know if you guys know about hail really or not, but we get ice balls that fall from the sky. And what you don't want is to get hit in the head with them if they're particularly large. These ones were not particularly large. Like mentioned earlier, they were probably marble-sized hail. It's not great, and I didn't really like my car being out in the middle of it, but it is what it is. And I especially didn't like running through it to get into the shop because it's not a pleasant thing. Irvin says must be nice hail or snow or not seeing snow or hail. I'm assuming it's not seeing it part, probably. All right, we got 10,059 dragon blood for that. And we got Arrogance at the top, followed by Sultans, and then Setrum and Xena, and then Etran. Ah, yes, my friend. Yes. She, I don't know if she really enjoys not seeing the snow. I don't think that she knows to enjoy it, if that makes sense. Having never experienced it, she just can't really, you know. I think you have to suffer through something in order to fully enjoy it. Enjoy not having it, let's say. There's Nightmare 2, which I'm not a big snow person myself. In California, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Um, their weather is definitely a lot different there than it is here. Apparently, they don't get the kind of storms that we get here as far as like the intensity in general of like rain and things like that. Like they have rain, but as far as it being it sounds like it's much more mild, even though it may be sometimes a lot of water. It's not as intense. It's interesting. I'll take our weather over earthquakes, though. I think I'm all right with it. Actually, being in Central Texas is interesting because you kind of get all of the weather, like all of the Texas weather. You get a little bit of it. Peruvian says your window of no snow here in Nebraska is here up until October. Yeah, that sounds rough. I am anti-snow myself. Um, so October here is either going to like okay, Halloween was always interesting growing up because when you're making your costume for Halloween or you're buying your costume, whatever, um, you never really know what to do. So you want to get something that can be uh, versatile. Because you don't know if it's going to be really cold or really hot on Halloween. It just varies from one year to the next. We got 14,754 dragon blood for that. And, okay, Sultan's topped it at 44 million. And that is so much larger than Xena's 23,921,000. So actually, Xena, Cetrum, and Arrogance all did very similarly in their damage, but Sultan's just blew it out of the park there. That was pretty hit it out of the ballpark if we want to get not mix our sayings up. But anyway, yeah. Very, very good. All right, let's complete that. Irvin says, same here. It could be 60, it could be 16. Right, yeah, except here it's more like, it could be high 80s, or it could be in the 30s, right? So same kind of situation, but more, on the hot side than that. But down to, actual freezing for sure. yeah, it's unfortunate. So if you have something you can like that has a removable jacket or something like that in the costume, then or a hood or something that you may or may not want to wear, then that could be an intelligent move for getting ready for Halloween. So you don't want to be, you know, you don't want to be in a situation where you're freezing all night, where you're out trying to enjoy the festivities. But you also don't want to be just absolutely dying, right? You know, you have a thick robe on or something. So, you know, it needs to be something removable. A robe is removable, but it can be relevant for your costume to have it. So, challenge Drake's Chasm 2 times, gives us 20 guild points, 28 guild activity tokens, and 5,000 gold. We've got the Oracle's Trial over here. We managed to get up to this 8-year recasting hammer shards. Very nice. Cleaning all that. Let's clean these background pipes. We got 9,020 gold, 750 XP potions, a couple pieces of gear, 40 vaults in this Vault of the Sands trophies, and 40 brave conquest points there. Alright, that seems pretty fun and well. We will check the arena real fast. We do get to refresh, and we have 2 arena permits left, so that seems like a good idea. Rubian says, I lived in Arlington, Texas for a couple of years. One Halloween was great. One was 40s. I thought that was freezing. Moving here puts things in perspective. Okay, so here, okay. I find that, having been in, like, Ohio when it was, like, 12 degrees or something like that. There was just snow everywhere. And it was crazy because I went out there thinking it's going to be very cold. Like there's snow all over the place and it's like 12 degrees. And I found that it's not cold in Ohio at 12 degrees. Here it's very, very cold. If it's 12 degrees, man, it's cold. But in Ohio, it was not cold. It was like 50 or 60 would be here. So I'm not sure why that was the case, but like I was taking off my jacket, like I put my jacket on and went out into it, and I'm like, oh man, this is not bad. This is not bad at all, you know? So I'm taking off my jacket. I don't know how that works out, but that's the truth of it. So the coldest that it's been here in my memory was probably maybe it got down to probably 12 or 13 degrees was the coldest I can recall here. And that sucked. Like, I'm not a fan. Rubian says, also depends on if there's wind or not. Sure, yeah, that definitely matters. And there is always wind here. Like, actually, that was one of the things I was laughing at. There's a park that was recently opened up nearby. And they put in a ping pong table, which I think is hilarious because where we're at, I mean, it's the amount of wind here is, it's pretty steady, and it's variable as far as like as you said, it's steady. Now I'm saying it's variable, but the direction that it's coming from changes all the time. Again, this is Central Texas, right? So you get the winds from different areas coming in, and they're all blowing in different directions. It's crazy to put a ping pong table, or table tennis if you prefer, in a park, and it's right by the water too. So you have a ping pong table. You've got like a little dispenser of balls. You can buy your balls there. No paddles, interestingly. So you bring your own paddles. You can buy your balls so that then you can start playing some ping pong and the wind can catch it and dump it into the water. It's very interesting choices there. But I do definitely want to try it. I was telling my friend the other day, all right, we've got to get out here on one of the 3 days that don't have wind this year and play a little bit of ping pong. So anyway, it's kind of crazy. Arabian says, did you lose power during that big polar plunge a couple of years ago when there were so many blackouts? Okay, I know exactly when you're talking about. I have a wood stove personally, and so during that week of winter, if you want to call it that, we were just using the wood stove and really not relying on power a great deal. I don't actually rely on electricity a lot at my home. And so it wasn't that big of a deal for me. My son didn't even close his store. We were still up here every day running it and did not lose power up here. I can't say for sure if my house lost power at all during that because I wasn't really there for most of it. But I can say that the shop did not lose power. A lot of people that I know did. And of course, if anybody had needed to, again, they could have just come over. I was outside gathering wood in that, however, chopping and gathering wood. So that wasn't a lot of fun, but it's an advantage to having a wood stove for sure. If power does go out, it doesn't matter. So, all right, let's see here. I think it is 1:30 in the morning, so I probably ought to call it for the night. It was a pleasure streaming with you as always, and hopefully I'll be seeing you all next time. If you're not following me, be sure to follow me so you can turn on notifications and see me the next time I go live. So hopefully I'll see you then. For now, have a good night.